You can call that a good start, but I call it picking up where we left off. Team Canada wins 5-0 over Czechia in their opener for the men at the 2026 Olympics in Milano Cortina. And since we're back, let's talk about it, because I was asked before the Olympics even began, hey, are you going to do videos after every game? And I said, yeah. What are you going to call them? And I had to think of a title. And I realized I had already come up with a title 12 years ago, the last time NHL players were allowed at the Olympic Games. CFR, Canada Fan Reaction. It goes with LFR, which is what I usually do after Leafs games. But this is a different Maple Leaf, and it usually leads to cheerier results. Now, what do I mean by picking up where we left off? That's what I mean. It had been so long since I made a video about the Canadian men's team at the Olympics featuring NHL players that I forgot what I called the videos. When I talk about picking up where we left off, I'm not referring to the Four Nation Face-Off, which was its own special, crazy one-off thing that Canada also won, by the way. What I am talking about is men's Canadian Olympic dominance. 2010, I was there at the gold medal game. Here, I'll pull it off the wall. Never mind, I won't. I didn't, it's not hung, it's actually Velcro. Oh wait, Velcro means it's easier to take off the wall. Here, give me a sec. Here you go. There's my ticket. I was in the barn when Sid screamed, Iggy! Oh boy! And that was fun, and that was ridiculous, and that was priceless, but that was 2010. Canada won by the skin of their teeth. Canada had to rely on a shootout, Sidney Crosby's shootout heroics, to beat Switzerland in the prelims. Got smacked by the US in the prelims. Had to play a qualifying game against Germany where Shea Weber put the puck through the net. That's real, look it up. Canada dispatched of the Russians in the quarterfinals in one of their most dominant performances ever. Very nearly blew it against Slovakia. And the gold medal game came along, very nearly blew it against the States and won by the skin of their teeth in the magical overtime. 2014? Canada just ran over everyone. Well, specifically Carey Price just ran over everyone, but Canada was never really in danger of losing. Except that one strange one to Latvia. We're still kind of afraid of Latvia. But Canada dominated, and that's where we left off. Before having it taken away from us for 12 years. Now we're back, and it's like we never left. But I do gotta say, for as much as I'm puffing my chest out and talking about Canadian dominance, I thought the Czechs played pretty well. The final score is gonna make it look like Canada smacked the Czechs up and down the ice all night, and that's just not what happened. Well, it was during the day. Well, no, it was night there. Or was it? What time was it? It was like dinner time. You know what I meant. First couple of minutes of the game, you're just overwhelmed by the sheer amount of speed, the amount of passes that Canada is making, the stupid number of names, the stupid quality of names. McDavid to Crosby, and Crosby over to Makar, and Makar down to Marner, and Marner across to Stone, and then Stone across to whoever. There is not a combination of any three men on the team that they iced today that would make a bad forward line. Canada gets a chance on the power play early. Can't bury it. But you can see how this could get out of hand for Canada quick. And oh, there it is! A beautiful backhand down the ice from Jordan Binnington, ends up on the stick of Nathan MacKinnon. Score! What? MacKinnon sniped past Lucas Dostal, who is one of the main reasons why I think Czechia has a really good chance at getting a medal here. It's called back. Not only is it washed out, but Nick Suzuki is sent to the box. This is why he shouldn't have made the team. I'm kidding. He scored later. Relax. Oh, spoiler. Was it a trip? Meh. His stick was between the Czech player's legs. He went to crossover. He tripped. But MacKinnon's like mid-shot. Did it actually have an impact on the play? No. Do they probably get away with that in the NHL? Yeah. But it was NHL refs in this game. Wes McCauley was calling this game. It's called a penalty. It's ultimately the right call, and the Czechs go to the power play. And right away, I'm like, okay. Here's where it happens. This is where the doubt sets in. They're playing great. You're happy the Olympics have started. You're no longer standing in line for the roller coaster. You're on the thing and whoa! But then it immediately malfunctions by allowing a power play goal. But no, Canada manages to kill this thing off. But all of a sudden, the Czechs are right back in this game. The shots are even. In fact, they're ahead of Canada for a large chunk of the first period. And just as it looks like time is running down on the first, and we're going to go to intermission with a 0-0 tie, the kid. Canada's top line is ridiculous, silly fun. It is Connor McDavid in the middle of Tom Wilson, lol, and Macklin Celebrini, lol. I don't care who you cheer for. That's an objectively funny line. Connor McDavid, who leads the NHL in scoring, on a line with 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini, who is 4th in the NHL in scoring, and Tom Wilson. Yeah, no, if you can't laugh at that, there's something wrong with you. That's funny. Well, they're out there to end the first. The kid posts up with the stick. Makar puts it on, and a beautiful deflection from Macklin Celebrini. Mere seconds left on the clock for the first period, and the kid, oh, he shouldn't even be going, you thought. Macklin Celebrini, the future is teal, and more importantly, the future is red and white. Canada takes a 1-0 lead into the second. Hey, fundamental stuff. I know it's Connor McDavid getting in there. I know it's Cale Makar getting in there. I know it's Macklin Celebrini. I know that as a 1st overall pick, giving the puck to a 4th overall pick, giving the puck to a 1st overall pick. That's fundamental stuff. Traffic and strength in front, float it on from the point, tip it in. You're going to have a hard time beating Lucas Dostal. He's one of the best goalies in the world. You're going to have to do that kind of thing. Now, second period arrives. There are other ways to beat him. Well, you're just going to have to do, like, spectacular stuff. And Canada goes, okay, I'll try. And it's the first, second, third line. I don't care what you call it. I guess it's the third. Sidney Crosby between Mitch Marner and Mark Stone, the 2 Vegas Golden Knights. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I've been very fascinated by this line since John Cooper came up with it. And all night long, it worked exactly the way I thought it would and exactly the way it was designed. That puck is going to slide along the boards. And if you're any player on Czechia, you've got to go fish that thing away from Sidney Crosby and or Mark Stone. Those are 2 of the best puck battlers in the world. And then once the puck squirts loose, it's going to be Mitch Marner. Mitch reads plays incredibly well, and he wins puck battles a little differently from those 2, but he wins puck battles. You're going to have such a hard time getting the puck with that trio on the ice. But this one wasn't a puck battle. This was just carving through the Czechs like butter. Marner and Crosby just tipping, tapping the puck to each other, just having fun out there. Crosby finds Marner streaking up the left. He cuts to the middle of the ice, sends a beautiful sauce pass over to Mark Stone, and all he's got to do is not screw it up. Boop, like the easiest goal he's ever scored. Just a tap in along the ice from Mark Stone, and a gorgeous goal from Stone, Marner, and Crosby. 2-0 Canada. So, okay, you're seeing them just straight up skate in, snipe the thing. We're going to count McKinnon's goal for this thought exercise. You're seeing him post up, use strength and net front presence. And then this is just chemistry. Like, John Cooper was very fidgety with his lines at the Four Nation Faceoff. If the first game is any indicator, I don't think he's going to be nearly as fidgety. I don't think he's going to line juggle nearly as much if they play like that again tomorrow against Switzerland. By the way, they play again tomorrow against Switzerland. It's not just that Canada's scoring, it's that they're finding a variety of ways to do it. Meanwhile, Jordan Binnington is pulling his weight. He was the biggest question mark with the team, hands down. We don't know what we're going to get. I had a conversation with someone on Twitter recently where they were like, Jordan Binnington making this team is like a player having 10 points, like a forward having 10 points and getting selected to the Canadian Olympic team. And I said, it's not quite like that. It's like if this was last year and a player had 10 points heading into the Four Nation Faceoff and then played in the Four Nation Faceoff, was like a -2 in each of the first 3 games, and then had a hat trick in the final. And then in the games before the Olympics the next year, he had like 8 points. Like, Jordan Binnington was always going to be the starting goalie of this team, even if he doesn't play every game. Listen to John Cooper. From Luke Fox, when did John Cooper decide Jordan Binnington should start for Canada at the Olympics? And he answered, probably 358 days ago. Like, yeah, I had to laugh at the people going, how is he on the team? He's bad in the NHL this year. Brother, He was bad in the NHL last year. And then he decided in the gold medal game of the Four Nation Face-Off, actually, I can't be beaten. And then for like most of the rest of the season, he also decided that. And then this season came around and he went right back to the way he started last year, if not worse. People talking about Jordan Binnington's not even the best Canadian goalie on the St. Louis Blues. Brother, Joel Hofer doesn't even believe that. And while Canada did a pretty good job in the first 10 minutes or so limiting the chances that Czechia had, when Jordan Binnington was called on, he was huge. He played the puck really well, but he was also making ridiculous saves, wicked saves off of deflections from the Czechs, who identified, all right, if we're going to score today, here's how we're going to do it. One particular sequence, a shot from the point, it's deflected, a kick save from Binnington, David Kampf on the doorstep, and Binnington dives over and robs him. Now, David Kampf could have very easily have just lifted the puck, and it might have gone in. But he didn't do that, so probably should have done that if you wanted to score, I guess. But Canada was guilty of that too. Brandon Hagel could have had a beautiful one. But Jordan Binnington earned his goose egg in this one. And just when Czechia looked like they were throwing their counterpunch, like they were getting back into the game, Canada essentially ices it. Brad Marchand along the boards, he gets the puck to a streaking Bo Horvat. There's another guy who people were like, I don't know why he's on this team. That's why. Splits the Czechs like it's nothing and tucks it backhand 5-hole through Dostal. Big goal for Bo. Bo knows goals, and it's 3-0 Canada. And the Czechs are going to have a real hard time coming back in this one. Third period, Czechs take a penalty. Canada didn't score on their last power play, which I'm sure upset them a lot. Probably no more than Nathan MacKinnon. This goal was McDavid, first overall pick, Crosby, first overall pick, and MacKinnon, first overall pick. MacKinnon burying after the cross crease feed. If 3-0 didn't ice it, this did. If that didn't ice it enough, Canada just pouring it on because goal differential matters in this tournament. McDavid cuts to the net. Nick Suzuki's parked in front. McDavid floats it on, and Suzuki almost looked like he felt bad for deflecting this in. But Suzuki gets the goal! Suzuki got a goal. Oh, why is he there? That's why he's there. Horvat got a goal. Oh, why is he there? That's why he's there. And Binnington, why is he there? Gets the shutout. Canada locks it down 5-0 against the Czechs. I'll be honest, I don't think the Czechs had a bad game at all. I think Canada's defensive system was 200 feet of the ice. And other than a few opportunities squeaking through, especially in the first half of the game, where Binnington just shut the door, they were suffocating. Nietzsche's always a threat, and he looked like a threat. Pasternak, always a threat, and he looked like a threat. I really like that spot check kid. Hronek had a ton of the puck. But every time the Czechs exited with numbers, which the forecheck of Canada rarely allowed them to do, there were at least two guys back. If it wasn't two defensemen, someone was being responsible and covering, because Canada, two-way on the wings, it's nasty work. The only concern after this game, Josh Morrissey went down with an injury. Now, the only reason you didn't notice that probably is because it's the Olympics, so there were 13 forwards and 7D out there. Tomorrow, if Josh Morrissey can't play, Canada will still have 7D because Travis Sanheim was a healthy scratch. Harley looked pretty gosh darn good. Doughty was pretty solid, if not maybe a step behind at times, but pretty solid. Makar and Taves looked like they play together all the time. Theodore Parayko, I thought, was old reliable. And choosing the forwards who were just disgusting on the forecheck, I mean, who do you even choose? Czechs couldn't get anything going on the rush, couldn't get anything going on the cycle. They couldn't get anything going. And I don't think it was because of them. From Dmitry Filipovich, I didn't even bother to research if this was true. Connor McDavid, 14 scoring chances created. Czechia, 12 scoring chances created. I kind of don't even care if that's true. Oh, has this been crooked the entire time? Oh, there you go. I fixed it for you. Oh no. Oh, this has been crooked the entire time? I'll fix it for the next video. I'm sorry. The Czechs obviously didn't want to get shut out 5-0. Dostal looked very solid. I thought the team looked very solid. I think they're going to do very well at this tournament. What I thought this game indicated was not that the Czechs weren't ready, not even that they were outmatched. It's that Canada is dialed. Questions. Can we have Marner back, please? Miranda, I'm in a good mood. No, we're not doing it. No! Did this game make you want the Leafs to return sooner or not at all? Your response. If Canada could play 30 games, that would be great. How awesome is Celebrini? Man, not that you needed me to tell you that the 4th leading scorer in the NHL is special, but that kid is special. And when I said the future is red and white, I was saying it to be cheeky. And then I let it sit in. Like, I really let it set in, and I thought, it is though. It is though. The next time there's an Olympics in 2030, Celebrini's gonna be there. Connor Bedard somehow didn't make this team. He's gonna be there. Oh, right. Matthew Schaefer. He's gonna be there. And that's not even counting the guys who are already on this team and are still probably gonna be there. Some of the kids coming up in junior are ridiculous and Canadian. And if Celebrini is at the head of that spear, this team is gonna rock it for a while. Here's the last one. Mark Stone looks like a mortician who is also the lead singer of a thrash metal band, and he turns up to gigs in tight dress pants and a shirt and tie. What would be the name of his band? Thank you for finally getting to the question. Okay, I'm gonna fix I'm gonna fix this. First of all, the band's name is Sticks and Stones. You're at Sticks and Stones, Break My Bones, he's a mortician, yeah. But I want this to be a movie and not a band. I want this to be like a School of Rock type thing, and it's the bodies are in the band because the music brings them to life. And the bones are their money. No, that's a different show. Yeah, Sticks and Stones, coming to a streaming service near you. I would watch that. My friends, I think we can wrap it up now. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Another stream for another game tomorrow, just after 3 p.m. Eastern, on the SDPN YouTube channel. Canada, Switzerland, be there.